The landscape of work is being redrawn. A task that requires a human with a salary and benefits might cost a company $1,000. That same task, handled by an AI, could be completed for a fraction of the price, perhaps as low as $200. This isn't a distant prediction, it is the economic reality taking hold today. Entire categories of jobs are poised for transformation, not in some far-off future, but now. At the same time, the next generation is inundated with more information than any before, yet we often teach them using methods from a bygone era. The gap between the world we live in and the world we prepare our students for is widening at an alarming rate. To bridge this chasm, we need a new compass, a new set of skills designed not just for survival, but for success. This is a guide to thriving in the era of artificial intelligence, built on two powerful frameworks from Stanford University. The first step is to replace fear with understanding. Many people see AI as a threat and choose to avoid it. But this is a critical error. Artificial intelligence is among the most powerful tools we have ever created. To ignore it is to willingly disarm yourself in a world that is rapidly adopting it. The key is to cultivate a mindset known as AI thinking. This isn't about becoming a programmer, but about developing a strategic understanding of how to coexist and collaborate with intelligent machines. AI thinking rests on three essential pillars. First, you need a general understanding of how AI works. Historically, artificial intelligence was built on rules and specific algorithms that humans had to meticulously code. The new paradigm, driven by deep learning and reinforcement learning, is fundamentally different. Modern AI learns from massive datasets using immense computational power to find patterns and optimize solutions. In this model, the quality of the output is often directly tied to the quantity and quality of the data it consumes. The more data, the better the solution generally becomes. This foundational knowledge leads directly to the second pillar, the ability to differentiate between human and machine capabilities. It is crucial to identify where humans excel and where AI holds the advantage. Consider the field of structural biology, where scientists dedicate their careers to deciphering the complex, three-dimensional structures of proteins. The number of known proteins is in the hundreds of millions. For decades, scientists had only determined the structures for a tiny fraction, less than 1%. Then came AlphaFold, an AI developed by DeepMind. In just 2 years, it predicted the structures for almost all known proteins, depositing this vast knowledge into a public database. This is a profound example of a task that was once the domain of highly specialized human researchers. Once a machine can perform a job at this level, the most strategic move is to let it handle that task, freeing human intellect for a different kind of work. This brings us to the third and the most critical pillar of AI thinking: collaboration. The goal is not to compete with AI on its own terms, but to leverage it to amplify our own abilities. The human domain, the area where we hold a decisive edge, is in 0 to 1 innovation. This is the act of creating something entirely new, of venturing into the unknown where no data yet exists. AI can provide the information, the analysis, and the automation, but the spark of genuine creation, the act of bringing something into existence from nothing, remains a uniquely human forte. Therefore, our focus must shift. We must prepare ourselves and the next generation not just to use tools, but to innovate, to generate novel ideas, and to use AI as the most powerful assistant we have ever had. So if our role is to drive this 0 to 1 innovation, how do we actually do it? Creativity is often viewed as a magical, innate talent, something that cannot be taught. This is a misconception. Through a systematic methodology developed at Stanford, we can learn to innovate on demand. This process is called designed thinking. It won't magically turn you into the next visionary founder, but it provides a reliable framework to become significantly more innovative than you are today. Design thinking provides a scaffold for creativity, a series of steps that guide you from a vague problem to a tangible, tested solution. The process begins with empathy. Before you can solve anything, you must deeply understand the people you are designing for. Who are they? What are their real needs, their frustrations, their unspoken desires? You must step into their world. The next step is to define the problem clearly. A staggering number of failed projects stem from solving the wrong problem from the outset. A precise problem statement is the foundation of a brilliant solution. With a well-defined problem, you move to ideation. This is the brainstorming phase, where the goal is quantity over initial quality, generating a wide spectrum of potential solutions. From these, you select the most promising ideas to prototype. A prototype is a simple, low-cost model of your solution, something tangible you can put in front of a user. This leads to the final step, testing. You gather real feedback on your prototype. This is where the most important principle reveals itself. All design is redesign. The feedback will almost certainly show you that your initial solution or even your problem definition needs refinement. This isn't a failure. It is the core of the process. You iterate, cycling back through the steps until you arrive at a solution that truly works. A classic Stanford case study illustrates this perfectly. A team was tasked with solving a shortage of infant incubators in Nepal. The initial assumption was a design problem, create a better, cheaper incubator from California. But by following the first step, empathize, they traveled to Nepal. To their surprise, they discovered rural medical centers already had donated incubators. The problem wasn't a lack of equipment, but a lack of knowledge to operate and maintain them in remote areas. The problem was defined incorrectly. By going back to the defined step with their new empathetic understanding, they realized the real need was for a robust, simple, and ultra-low-cost incubator that could be used in homes. They redesigned the problem, and in doing so designed a successful solution that met the real human need. This is the power of a systematic approach to invention. Now, these frameworks are being put to the test by the most prominent AI phenomenon in recent memory, ChatGPT. Its ability to converse naturally and generate sophisticated code and text has been a wake-up call. It has made the abstract power of AI concrete for millions. Its impact on education is immediate and unavoidable. Students can use it to write essays and complete assignments. The response cannot be to ban it. Technology is like the flow of water. It cannot be blocked, only channeled. Educators must adapt by integrating these tools into the learning process itself. For instance, an assignment can shift from write an essay to use ChatGPT to draft an essay, then analyze, critique, and improve upon its output. This teaches students to work with AI to become editors and directors of AI-generated content rather than passive consumers or outright rejectors of it. The ultimate goal is to redefine education for this new age. The old model of transferring a fixed body of knowledge is obsolete when that knowledge is available instantly. The future of education lies in fostering the skills that AI cannot replicate, the deep empathy to understand nuanced human needs, the critical thinking to define the true problem, and the creative confidence to generate novel solutions. It is about building a system that doesn't just add technology to the classroom, but one that builds the human capacity for innovation. By mastering AI thinking, we learn to collaborate with machines. By applying design thinking, we systematize the process of invention. This is not merely a strategy for survival. It is a blueprint for building a future where humanity and artificial intelligence evolve together, unlocking potential we have only begun to imagine. The cost of human labor for a specific task can easily reach $1,000. That same task performed by an AI could cost a company as little as $200. This stark economic reality is not a future forecast, it is the present moment. As this shift accelerates, the way we educate the next generation feels increasingly disconnected from the world they will inherit. We are preparing students for a reality that no longer exists. To navigate this new landscape, we need more than just new facts. We need a new operating system for our minds. This is a guide to that system, built on two powerful frameworks from Stanford. The first step is to move from avoidance to understanding. Many people react to AI with fear, choosing to distance themselves from it. This is a strategic mistake. Artificial intelligence represents one of the most transformative tools in human history. To reject it is to compete in the modern world with one hand tied behind your back. The essential mindset for this is called AI thinking. It's a strategic framework for human-AI collaboration, and it consists of three core principles. First, acquire a general understanding of how AI operates. The old paradigm of artificial intelligence was based on rules. Humans had to code every eventuality. The new paradigm, driven by deep learning, is fundamentally different. Modern AI learns from data. It ingests massive datasets and uses statistical models to find patterns and generate solutions. In this model, data is the primary ingredient. Generally, the more high-quality data available, the more capable and accurate the AI becomes. This foundational knowledge leads to the second principle, the ability to differentiate between human and machine capabilities. You must identify the domains where each excels. Consider the field of structural biology. Scientists in this domain work to map the three-dimensional structure of proteins, which are fundamental to all life. For decades, the global scientific community had only determined the structures for a tiny fraction of the hundreds of millions of known proteins. Then, an AI called AlphaFold, developed by DeepMind, entered the scene. In a matter of 2 years, it predicted the structures for almost all known proteins, a task that would have taken humans centuries. This is a clear example of a task that has been fundamentally transformed. Once a machine can perform a function at this level, the most strategic action is to let it handle that task. This frees up human cognition for a different kind of work. This brings us to the third and most critical principle, collaboration. The goal is not to outcalculate the computer, but to leverage its power to augment our own. The area where humans maintain a decisive advantage is in 0-to-1 innovation. This is the act of creating something that did not exist before, of venturing into the unknown where no pre-existing data can guide the way. This act of pure creation remains a uniquely human forte. Our focus, therefore, must shift from competing with AI to pioneering in the spaces it cannot reach. This is the human domain. So if our primary role is to drive this 0-to-1 innovation, how do we do it systematically? Creativity is often seen as an elusive talent, impossible to teach. This is a misconception. Through a methodology developed and refined at Stanford, we can learn to innovate on demand. This process is called design thinking. It provides a scaffold for creativity, a series of steps that guide you from a vague challenge to a tangible solution. It may not make you the next legendary inventor, but it will make you significantly more innovative than you are today. Design thinking is a step-by-step process for tackling complex problems. The first step is to empathize. Before a single solution is proposed, you must immerse yourself in the world of the people you are designing for. Who are they? What are their deepest frustrations, their unspoken needs? You have to understand the human context. The second step is to define. Based on your empathetic understanding, you crystallize the core problem into a clear, actionable statement. Many projects fail not because the solution was bad, but because they were solving the wrong problem from the very beginning. With a precise problem defined, you move to the third step, ideate. This is the brainstorming phase where the objective is to generate a vast quantity of ideas without initial judgment. The fourth step is to prototype. You take the most promising ideas and build simple, low-fidelity models. The goal is to create something tangible that a user can interact with. This leads to the fifth and final step, test. You take your prototype and gather genuine feedback. This is where a crucial insight emerges. All design is redesign. You will almost certainly learn that your initial concept needs refinement. This iterative loop is the engine of innovation. You cycle back through the steps, refining your understanding and your solution until it truly resonates. It's a structured process for navigating ambiguity. A real-world example from Stanford perfectly illustrates this. A team was challenged to address a shortage of infant incubators in Nepal. The initial assumption was a design and manufacturing problem. But by following the empathize step, they traveled to the Nepalese mountains. They discovered that the problem wasn't a lack of incubators. Many medical centers already had them, donated from abroad. The real issue was that no one in these remote villages knew how to operate or repair the complex machines. The problem had been defined incorrectly. By returning to the defined step, they realized the true need was for a durable, simple, and extremely low-cost incubator that could be used in homes, far from medical centers. By redefining the problem, they were able to design a simple, effective solution that actually worked for the people there. This is the power of a systematic approach. These frameworks are now being tested by the most significant AI development in recent years, ChatGPT. Its ability to understand and generate human-like text and code has made the power of AI tangible. Its impact on education is immediate and profound. Students can use it to complete assignments. The response cannot be to build a wall. Technology is like water, it finds a way. The only viable path is to integrate these tools directly into the learning process. An assignment can evolve from simply writing an essay to using ChatGPT to draft an essay, then analyzing, refining, and improving its work. This teaches the critical skill of directing AI, of becoming a conductor rather than just an instrument. The ultimate objective is to redefine the purpose of education itself. The old model focused on the transfer of a fixed body of knowledge is obsolete when that knowledge is instantly accessible. The future lies in cultivating the abilities that AI lacks, the deep empathy to understand nuanced problems, the critical thinking to define them accurately, and the creative confidence to build novel solutions. It's about creating an ecosystem that doesn't just insert technology into the classroom, but one that fundamentally builds the human capacity for innovation. By mastering AI thinking, we learn to collaborate with intelligent machines. By applying design thinking, we systematize the act of creation. This is not a plan for mere survival. It is a blueprint for a future where human and artificial intelligence co-evolve, unlocking possibilities we are only beginning to consider.